Hello, I'm Bob Schieffer, and welcome to the CBS Evening News online edition. Just ahead, the sky-high price of natural gas. An investigation by 4 states says consumers are paying $5 billion a month more than they should. Also, Jim Acosta has details on the young suspects in that string of Alabama church burnings. And we'll give you a sneak peek at what may be the next big thing in computers. And it comes in a very small package. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News online edition. It is no news to say energy prices are up. Consumers have been feeling the pinch at the pump and shock when they open their home heating bills. But today, attorney generals in 4 states across the Midwest completed an investigation and concluded one reason for the high price of natural gas is obvious: old-fashioned price gouging. How much price gouging? $5 billion a month. Here's Bob Orr in Washington.
When 65-year-old Phyllis Brooks opened her January gas bill,
$353.99.
the retired Chicago postal worker was stunned.
The $200 a month jump, that would make anybody sit up and pay attention.
And 62 million American families who, like Brooks, heat their homes with natural gas feel her pain. Across the nation, gas bills are up 17% over last winter, up 18% in the Midwest. And today, state law enforcement officials charge that some of the jump is due to price gouging.
I mean, are consumers getting a fair deal here? They're clearly not getting a fair deal.
In fact, Missouri Attorney General Jay Nixon says a 6-month investigation by 4 Midwestern states concludes gas customers are paying $5 billion a month more than they should.
Demand stayed even, supply stayed even, but prices jagged up, basically out of control for consumers as well as small businesses across our country this winter.
So people at home, they're opening the gas bills in their $300, $400, $500, and they're feeling like they're getting ripped off.
They are getting ripped off.
We couldn't disagree more. It clearly is supply and demand, and the government has repeatedly investigated and found that to be the case.
Skip Horvath, who heads the gas industry trade group, blames skyrocketing prices in January on the double whammy of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, which disrupted gas supplies. While prices since have dropped some, the state's investigation says prices remain artificially high. Energy trading markets, the report says, are vulnerable to abuse and manipulation. They are less regulated than many other commodity markets. And there is no question, the report concludes, that traders bid up the cost of gas futures in the fall. Now Phyllis Brooks is paying a steep price for their profits.
The attorneys general who did the investigation are not charging anyone with a crime. They can't change energy policy. They would like the federal government to do more oversight of traders, but taken as a whole, Bob, don't expect any quick break or rebate on your gas bill.
Well, Bob, let me ask you this. Will they continue at this level?
Well, the forecasts say that the prices have already come down and the demand has eased off. So for the next several months, we should be fine. But the long-range forecast is dire. It says look for more price hikes by the end of the year.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Bob. Well, this news certainly came as a relief to the people of Alabama today. Agents investigating the string of 9 church fires there say they have cracked the case. They arrested 3 college students whose alleged motive is mind-boggling. Here is Jim Acosta.
Authorities describe the Alabama arsonists as thrill-seeking college students who were burning churches as a joke, one that got out of hand.
I think I'm a little bit sad for the families of these 3 young people we've arrested today.
All 3 suspects met while attending, of all places, a church-affiliated college in Birmingham. 19-year-old Benjamin Mosley, shown here in a school play, 19-year-old Russell DeBusk working backstage, and their friend, 20-year-old Matthew Cloyd, were known as campus pranksters. And that theme runs throughout sworn affidavits made by investigators. It all began while the young men were out deer hunting one night last month, when they decided on an entirely new target. First came the arsons at 5 churches in central Alabama, then a few days later, the torching of 4 more on the western edge of the state. These 4 churches were burned as a diversion to throw investigators off. The diversion obviously did not work, Mosley told agents. The break came when Matthew Cloyd confided to someone that he had done something stupid, that he had set a church on fire. That led authorities to Cloyd's parents, who say their son admitted his involvement. Investigators then matched the tire on the parents' SUV to tracks left at 6 of the burned churches. The arrests blindsided Ben Mosley's father. His son was the third generation to attend Birmingham Southern College.
You went to this school, your father went to this school, is that right?
Yes. It's very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. So I'm still trying to ascertain the facts before I'll say anything else.
What started out as a prank will have an ending that is no laughing matter. If convicted, these young men face up to 45 years in prison. Bob?
Okay, well, thank you, Jim. Well, maybe we need it, maybe we don't, but Bill Gates thinks enough of us will want one of these things to add a few $1 billion to Microsoft's bottom line. It's called the Origami, and Gates will introduce it tomorrow at a computer show in Germany. Our John Blackstone has a preview tonight.
Happy New Year.
Take a look at the next big thing in small computers. Under the code name Origami, Microsoft has been hinting for months about the purse-sized device it will unveil tomorrow. But we got a sneak peek from Intel, the company making chips for the new machine.
But what's really cool with this design is if you slide it that way, you have some buttons here.
Intel's Brad Graff calls it the ultra-portable computer, somewhere between a cell phone and a laptop.
Then you have a thumb keyboard, so if you want to send out some quick emails and do some instant messaging, you have access to it. But when you're done, you close it up, and you're kind of back to where you started.
It can be used as a GPS navigation system to play movies and music, and of course, connect to the internet. But in a world where people already carry cell phones and iPods, laptops and Blackberries, who needs yet another device that does many of the same things? Early research turned up a surprise.
But one category of people that we didn't expect was soccer moms. What they were doing is they would drop off their kids at a game, then they would go and do some shopping, and then they would go run an errand. And they had lots of dead time, 5-10 minutes at a time. They had nothing to do. So we deployed these devices for 6 weeks, and they found out they loved this. They could access the internet, they could watch TV, they could do videos, they could get real work done in between things.
But similar tablet computers have been tried before and failed. Remember the Apple Newton? You're not alone if you don't. The difference now is a growing demand to stay connected and have instant entertainment. All available for about $1,000 in a few weeks, down to a mass market price of $500 within a year. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
More stories are just a click away, but don't forget to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Thursday's broadcast, Who's Who in the Growing Billionaire Club. We'll give you an exclusive look at the latest list of the world's richest men and women. For CBSNews.com, I'm Bob Schieffer.